welcome you all to this week's edition of Universal Parenting Clinic. On this show today, I will be discussing the necessity of time in parenting. Parenting requires quality time. Parenting is time-consuming and time-demanding. It is a daily engagement and not a seasonal experience. It is also not a part-time vocation, but a permanent part of your everyday affairs. So, quality time will be devoted and invested into parenting if you are to be an excellent parent and without tears. Of course, there will be several other supporting measures which may include your spouse, relations, schools, and professional carers. However, your personal commitments and involvements can never be delegated in its totality. So, the availability of any other alternatives can only be of help. But your responsibilities in parenting as a parent will still require quality time, whenever needed and whenever necessary. Most parents that lacked time to spare now for their children's present and future needs will inevitably pay with precious time to parade hospitals when the child has drug-related sicknesses which could have been prevented, or when such child become a regular guest at police stations or prison, because their failure to create needed time at crucial stages of parenting needs has made the child a failure and an undesirable personality in life. Such parents that couldn't spare time to nurture their child will eventually have time to shed tears of failure and pain at old age, when their peers are celebrating their children who they nurtured to become great and successful in life. There are notable cases of parents who lived to regret the failure to create time to support their children because they devoted their precious time to businesses or their inordinate ambition for money and love of pleasure and holiday adventures, among others, to the detriment of their children, whose well-being should be their most treasured goal in life. Unfortunately, such parents always forget that everything has its time and season. A time for pleasure, a time to work, a time for family care, and a time for child care. As time goes on, there will be times in life when money becomes useless, a time when business becomes past tense, a time when all that matters is your successful and caring children or child, at a time when the only thing that brings joy and satisfaction is seeing your child as a success, while others celebrate theirs. A time when you are too old to hustle, and a time when you cannot be bothered with material things. A time when all that matters will be the comforting presence and comfort of your children and grandchildren. From my experience and discussions on this project, and years of counseling youth and parents, I discovered that no child was born to be a failure, a criminal, or a bad child. And no one would willingly desire all the negatives from birth. I also discovered, however, that a very high percentage of successful, morally upright and responsible children and adults are those whose parents dedicated reasonable time through proper parenting, involving clear understanding of parenting roles and responsibilities. I believe seriously that except for few exceptions, a very encouraging percentage of children, youth and adults who are daily graduating from childhood will be responsible instead of being criminals or failures if all parents are ready and willing to give reasonable time for proper parenting and the discharge of their parenting responsibilities. By few exceptions, I mean there are parents who did everything excellently, but other factors, including juvenile delinquencies or youthful exuberance of such children, and several other factors, which will also be discussed on this program, destroyed the destiny and future of such children. And also, I discovered few exceptions where by stroke of faith and law or divine orchestration, some badly parented children ends up becoming successful despite their parents' failure to give them the required time. However, Even among those few fortunate ones, despite their financial, professional, and academic fortune and excellence, you will still notice certain deficiencies in the way they carry themselves, which are traceable to the missed quality parenting. The truth is that your domestic assistant, other agencies, and supporting carers can only discharge certain basic responsibilities to support you in that role, but they cannot discharge the core and specific parenting responsibilities for you adequately without lapses and consequences. They don't have the time, and also because they have nothing seriously at stake personally. Teachers are there to teach your child within a given scope of their syllabus, and with increasing limitations and restrictions, they are not able to inculcate the required moral standard in your children. They are not also responsible for you creating time to ensure your child is in school, or that you find time to support your child in his or her assignments, or to create the required motivation necessary for your child to be serious in school. Clergymen and women can preach for holiness and righteousness for a few minutes, but they can't monitor your children's behaviors or checkmate their responses. And certainly, they can't mandate your child's attendance too. Political leaders and those in governance can legislate and enact laws, administer and direct, but they don't have the personal touch and closeness to direct and regulate your child. Technologies can manufacture computers and several other gadgets, but they cannot guarantee that your child does not use it for fraud. Authors can write books, but they can't create the reading culture in your child. Those manufacturing beers, cigarettes, guns, etc., even food and drinks, are not responsible for ensuring that your child does not get exposed to the negative sides of these things. The ultimate responsibility to be at home to supervise, direct, support, correct, advise, and several other things that will be addressed on these programs that involves your time resides with you. No one says you shouldn't enjoy yourself, but you must consider this while planning to become a parent. Several factors are responsible for lack of time for children nowadays. This includes addictions, using most times on party and fun, immaturity, laziness, work, several other commitments, and also lack of seriousness and commitment to parenting.
Parenting without tears. I've got my copy. Now it's time that you got yours.
Parenting without tears. I've got my copy. Get yours now.
We are all witnesses to the consequences of lack of adequate time for parenting worldwide. You need to balance your schedules and prioritize the time for your child. Many parents don't have time to attend parents and teacher meetings, time to bathe, feed, prepare healthy food, counsel, and even attend to several domestic needs of their children. They don't even spend quality time with the children again. I beseech all parents to devote quality time to the care of children, especially in their early years. As they grow and as they become more independent, you will discover you are free to utilize more of your time for other personal things. My parents did, and my siblings and I are living testimonies and witnesses of the positive effects and impacts, and I decided to replicate it for my children. Experiences of those I counseled on this also points to great success record, which goes to show that there is no substitute to devoting quality time to children in parenting. That's the show this week. I believe strongly that through this universal parenting clinic, and with proper understanding of the book, Parenting Without Tears, together, we all can promote wellness in families and in the world. We can stop the tears from children, parents, and families. We can kick racism, fraud, incivility, corruption, wickedness, several addictions, violence, and the series of antisocial behaviors out of all families and the whole world. And at the same time, we can promote all the positive desires and aspirations toward the well-being of the children, parents, and the world at large. Till I come your way again next week, I'm the parenting advocate in the house, Michael Benga Bibilari, MGB, Mr. Parenting. Create adequate time for parenting. Think parenting. Talk parenting. Be passionate about parenting. Don't just be a parent. Stop posturing. Be a real parent. A parent indeed. Parent well.